121-113 final score from Denver, Colorado. The Nuggets came out to play. Jokic was an animal tonight. I mean, the dude put up 37 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. He is doing it on both ends. He's playing a lot better on defense as well. I know a lot of teams want to put him in the pick and roll to expose him, but I feel like Michael Malone has done the right adjustments to put him in better situations to actually play better defense and stay in front of these fast, quick guards, explosive guards. Damian Lillard still had his way today. He finished with how many points did he finish with today? He had 39 points, 12 of 21. So he was efficient, 4 of 12 from 3. He started off pretty hot. Then he cooled down. He airballed about 2 of those shots. Fatigue kicked in a little bit with Damian Lillard, and you saw it. But his straight line drives were very important because every time they hard doubled him, he knew how to adjust to that defense. So stay tuned for many of those plays because if the Nuggets don't adjust, Damian Lillard will win you a lot of these games almost by himself. He had little to no help today from Aminu and Harkless. They both combined for 4 points, 2 of 7 from the field together. That's just not enough. They need more help from these two, especially if they're going to play 28 minutes and 22 minutes respectively. That was the difference, in my opinion. It was an 8-point game, final score. It came down to those two guys. They need more production from them. They need at least 10 points from Aminu and about 8 points from Harkless if they want to win this series. Paul Millsap was really good today. He put Aminu, Harkless in tough situations. Paul Millsap was really, really good. He used his physicality to get what he wanted all game long. Finished with 19 points, plus 6 for the game, 7 and 12 from the field. Again, if you give Paul Millsap anywhere from 18 feet to the basket, he's going to be very efficient. What do you have to do? You have to make him shoot jump shots. When he shot jump shots, he wasn't very effective from beyond that line. So you need to put him in those situations. Again, Michael Malone is very good with the schemes. He's very creative with the schemes, especially when you have a center who can pass with either hand. He sees the floor so well, so it just makes things so much more difficult for the Blazers. With that said, though, Enes Kanter had a very good game. He does have a separated shoulder, and he still put up buckets, 11 to 14 from the field, 26 points, 7 rebounds. Had a really good game. Again, they needed help from Aminu and Harkless. 4 points combined is not going to do it. It's not going to cut it, man. CJ McCollum, 7 to 17, 16 points, had a strong first half, but kind of disappeared in that second half. He had a couple of buckets in that fourth quarter, but it just wasn't enough. They need more consistency from CJ McCollum. If CJ had about 6 more points, we'd be talking about a Blazer victory. Straight up. If he had about 6 more points, we'd be talking about a Blazer victory because those buckets would have came in timely situations. Aminu was just terrible all the way around. He had how many turnovers? 3 turnovers. 2 of those turnovers really stood out to me in key moments. Just bad plays from Aminu, just very uncharacteristic. He's usually very solid for them, but tonight was not one of his finer nights. Tony Craig came in there, gave you some defense, 3 points, started today, made life, sort of difficult on whoever he guarded. If it was Dame, if it was CJ on switches, he's just a very, very good player, very good defender. Any type of offense that you get from Tony Craig is a plus. Jamal Murray, 34 minutes, 23 points, very efficient, 8 of 15, 8 assists, 2 steals. Jamal Murray is opening eyes around the NBA universe right now. He's, again, I said this earlier, I was wrong about him, and I'll be the first to admit it. When I'm wrong, I'm going to tell you. And I was wrong about Jamal Murray. I didn't like him coming out of college. I thought he'd be good, but I didn't think he'd be this good. Gary Harris, 11 points, 35 minutes. They need more production from him, 4 of 10. Again, if he had 6 more points from McCollum, I feel like this could have been a Blazer victory. I was wrong earlier. I thought the Blazers would have won this game. They didn't, but I was right on the over. If you took the over, it was definitely an over. 113, 121. This is the first time where we have an over in a game one of a series. So I was right there. I was right with the 76ers. I predicted that they would cover that spread. I didn't think they'd win the game, but I did predict that they would cover that 7.5 for the game. Off the bench, you had Michael Beasley. He gave you big minutes, 28 minutes, 9 points. His effort, his defense on Damian Lillard was really, really good today as well. So good production from him, +6 for the game. And then Mason Plumlee doing what he does best. He gives you timely rebounds. He had 6 boards, 4 defensive, 2 offensive. He's a really nice rotational big to have, and I'm hoping that the Kings do not sign, but can somehow trade for a Mason Plumlee. He's very, very, very smart and very valuable to any team that he's been on. And then, so Trey Lyles, Hernan Gomez, Isaiah, they didn't play. He's sticking to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So a 9-man lineup makes sense. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he did use 5 players. The Blazers did. So Zach Collins gave you really good minutes, in my opinion. He came in with timely blocks, 2 or 3 from the field, 0-1 from 3. Miles Leonard, he scored that bucket, that 3-point shot, but he didn't do too well, in my opinion. And then Seth Curry, 16 minutes off the bench, 4 points. Just missed two or 3 free throws down the stretch. Needs to hit those. And Rodney Hood, surprisingly, was really good today. 18 minutes, 17 points, got you buckets, 5 of 10 from the field. I thought he was good. If you get 6 more points from Aminu and Harkless, 6 more points from McCollum, you win that game. But when you score 4 points combined from Aminu and Harkless, it's not going to get the job done. It's just not. It's just not. Canner did do good. What's up, Mike? Mike, it's going to be a 6 series. I think is going to go to game 7. Give Nuggets some credit. Nuggets played a great game. Great defensive team. Coach Malone. So, yeah, I wouldn't say they played great defense, but they played good enough to win the game, obviously. That's what it's all about. They're at home. And again, I can't harp enough on 4 points from 2 starters. It's just not good production. And especially when they both had 6 turnovers combined. So they had more turnovers than points. Not good. No bueno. That's pretty much the summary in my analysis on the Nuggets and the Blazers. They have to adjust. They have to get more points from 2 of their starters for them to win game 2. I think they will win game 2, honestly. And I won't be surprised if it goes 7. Earlier I said 6 or 7. I'm not sure yet, but if the Blazers can just get some production, I feel like they'll win the series. Lillard did good, but I think towards the end he was taking really bad shot selections. I think at that point he was just really frustrated, forcing the issue. He was, but I mean, how can you not be frustrated with your teammates, man? I mean, it's unacceptable to get 4 points combined and 6 turnovers. It's just not going to cut it. Let's go to the Sixer game. The 76ers came in with a sense of urgency, a desperate team needing to play well, at least get some momentum going back to game 3 and game 4 to Philadelphia. Not only did they do that, they won the game. Now home court advantage goes to them. 2 games in Philadelphia. They played really well. Jimmy Butler put that team on his back. 30 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, timely buckets, clutch buckets. Jimmy Buckets gave you buckets today. No question about it. This dude was really good. Played some really good defense. He was 9-22, so he wasn't efficient, but they needed every single bucket from Jimmy, and he provided that. 44 minutes from Ben Simmons, 3 of 6, 6 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He needs to play better. I understand that you got Siakam, you have Kawhi Leonard on you at times, but you need to force the action like he did early in that game. He played a little bit of bully ball. He needs to go back, and he needs to do that more often, more consistently for the Sixers to have a chance to win the series. I still have the Raptors winning the series. I think they're a better team. But the Sixers, out of all the teams, they do match up well because they are very big, even though they don't have they're shooting big. What's his name? He's out with the leg injury. He hit that big bucket against the Nets. I'm slipping on his name, but they don't have him, which is big because you need guys who can spread the floor. Tobias Harris, 36 minutes today, 9 points, but he had 11 rebounds. Anytime you can get 11 rebounds, you're going to be very valuable for your team. Again, it's the little things that you do. As I said with Kyle Lowry, you don't have to score. Rebounding, the box outs to allow your teammate to get other rebounds. So it's the little things that coaches appreciate and that people who understand this game acknowledge. Tobias Harris made a lot of winning plays. That's why he played 36 minutes today. Joel Embiid, 32 minutes. He was sick. Apparently, he had some type of virus in his stomach. 32 minutes, 12 points. Had the biggest bucket of the game on that spin. Incredible footwork for a guy his size. You cannot. This guy is good. This guy is really good. Jimmy, so JJ Redick, 36 minutes, 11 points, 2 of 8 from 3. Struggled a little bit. He needs to be better at home if they want to win. And then they had 12 very valuable minutes from Greg Monroe before he went out with an ankle injury. This dude had 10 points in 12 minutes, 4 of 7 from the field, 5 rebounds, +8 for the game. He was very effective. He went in there, and they just couldn't stop him. In terms of rebounding, this dude had just tips. He's a big body. He's skilled. If you give it to him in the post, he's going to get you buckets. That's the old Greg Monroe that I loved in Detroit. Played very well today. And Ennis, 24 minutes from Ennis, 13 points. He was the X factor for that team. Just on the ground, loose balls, again, winning little things that don't show up in the stat sheet. This guy did it all. Had complete trust from his coach, and he played 24 big minutes for this team. 13 points, 2 of 6 from 3, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, +7 for the game. Very efficient. Again, Ennis was the X factor in my opinion. And then you go on the other side, Danny Green, man, 32 minutes, 3 points, 1 of 6 from 3, wide open threes. Brother, you got to hit a shot. If he hits 2 of those shots, they win the game. He could not hit a shot to save his life. This dude, talking about Aminu and Harkless, Danny Green had a terrible game. Just terrible. Jimmy Butler was just getting buckets on him. He wasn't scoring himself. I did not understand why Coach did not switch Kawhi or even Siakam on Jimmy Butler if Jimmy was the hot man. I understand all the cross screens that they do to get the mismatches, but Danny Green was the allocated man to Jimmy Butler. So that part I did not understand and I didn't like whatsoever. So they need to adjust in game 3. I don't like Danny Green. Maybe you can put him on early in the game, but down the stretch, if that's your hot man, which I expected Jimmy to be before today, I said Jimmy's going to come out. He's going to flat out ball. He needs to prove that he is a max type player this offseason. He did that today. Did not expect Danny Green to be on him. I expected Kawhi or Siakam. Did not see that down the stretch. We got to see adjustments. Kawhi Leonard, this guy was a beast. 35 points, 13-24, 3 of 10. Kept the team in the game. Put his team on his back. And Kyle Lowry hit 2 big threes, wide open threes because of the ability of Kawhi to drive consistently, and everyone just crashed on him. And he has enough skills to kick it out and find the open guy because he's that great of a player. I want to see him on Jimmy Butler a lot more down the stretch, though. Siakam, 40 minutes, 9-25, 21 points. Missed a lot of bunnies, 7 rebounds. Played a good game. I wouldn't say it was a great game. It was above average for him. He needs to be more efficient for sure. 9-25 is not going to cut it for 21 points. Just not efficient. Marcus saw 35 minutes, 5 points. You need to see more from him. 1 of 4 from 3. You got to hit 50% of your shots, especially if it's low volume. 1 of 4 won't cut it. Again, they played so bad and they barely lost the game. Barely lost that game. Van Vliet, 18 minutes, 0 points. Brother got to score points, man. He is a bucket getter. Did not get buckets today. And then Powell only had 16 minutes, 3 points. So again, the bench was non-existent. That bench they scored 5 points. It's just not going to cut it. You need to score more points. The load of the points obviously came Kyle Lowry, 20 points, Kawhi, 35, Siakam, 21. You need to get more production from your bench. You need to. I'm glad he couldn't shoot. He's usually lights out. I didn't even know they had Greg Monroe. Yeah, Greg Monroe was on the Raptors last year, and the Sixers picked him up. Nice backup to have for situations like this. I was earlier when I couldn't think of the name for the Sixers, I was thinking about Mike Scott, lights out shooter. They can really use him in the series. It'll be interesting to see if he does come back. But again, this just makes things much more interesting. Sixers winning tonight. I want to see game 7s in every single series. It's just, as a basketball fan, you want to see the game 7s. There's nothing better than game 7. In the last game 7, Nuggets and Spurs, we had the most idiotic play from LaMarcus Aldridge, and was it Patty Mills on that one too? Yeah, Patty Mills, veteran, very smart, could not understand why he did not understand clock management and I get that it was super loud, but how do you not look at the clock and say, you know what, I have to foul. We're down by 4. What's going on? Why would you have that type of a setback mentally in such a critical moment? This is the last game of the season, and you're out here not wanting to foul. And then after the game, LaMarcus taking no accountability for it. Like, you're the best player on this team. And all you have to say is, you know what? I take full responsibility for having a brain fart and not executing such a simple play, something that they taught us in first grade, something that they taught us when we were 5 years old, clock management. Just don't understand that. It really bugs me. And I talked about that on Basketball Zone Official on our Instagram page. You guys can follow us there as well. Make sure to slap a like button on this video and share it with your NBA fans. You guys can also use our code COWBELL on SeatGeek.com to get $20 off. It really does help the channel. Appreciate you guys. Mike says J.R. Smith moment. Yeah, man, that was just ridiculous to me. How do you miss that, bro? Just frustrating. But yeah, that's pretty much the breakdown of both games today. If you took my advice, you probably made some money. If not, you probably didn't. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully we can do this tomorrow. We have 2 more games, Golden State and Houston, Milwaukee and Boston. Just love the matchups all the way around. It's going to be a very fun second round. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next one.